Got a hankering for old country buffet? Craving a Carrows? Well, you're out of luck, because you won't be seeing any of these chain restaurants anymore. In the mid-20th century and beyond, family-style diners were a big deal in the western United States. Carrows consistently attracted customers seeking familiar foods in an unpretentious environment. Founded in California in 1970 as Carrows Hickory Chip Restaurant, the company sold to Flagstar in 1996, which at the time also controlled the competitor chain Denny's. By the time Carrows was sold again in 2015, only 50 outlets remained, all in California, Arizona, and Nevada. In 2018, competitor Sherry's Cafe and Pies bought out what remained of the Carrows operation and continued to do business under the well-established brand name. The new owners left just one Carrows open, the original location in Cerritos, California. That one closed for good in 2023. There's something about a buffet that's irresistible. Or rather, a whole lot of things. Buffets like Old Country Buffet and Hometown Buffet once dominated the scene. Hundreds of restaurants owned by each company operated out of huge restaurant spaces with dozens of items ready to go at any given moment. Following some mergers and corporate realignment, Fresh Acquisitions LLC and Buffets LLC wound up controlling a large chunk of the American buffet restaurant market. COVID-19 restrictions designed to slow the spread of the coronavirus hit communal-oriented restaurants like buffets especially hard. Not really able to subsist on takeout like other eateries, most buffets stayed closed for long stretches in 2020, and when they reopened, operators found they'd lost too many months of revenue. In 2021, the buffet chain's parent operation filed for bankruptcy, resulting in the demise and closure of Old Country Buffet and Hometown Buffet. A midway point between fast food and serve-yourself buffets is the casual cafeteria. Most predominant in the South, the modern cafeteria concept originated with the first Morrisons, which opened in Mobile, Alabama in 1920. With full meals of Southern-style home cooking costing about 30 cents, far less than traditional sit-down restaurants at the time, Morrison's was a hit, and within a week of opening, more than 1,000 customers dined there daily. Uniquely suited to enduring the Great Depression because it cost so little to eat there, Morrison's grew into a chain of 17 cafeterias around the South by the early 1950s. After merging with the Ruby Tuesdays restaurant chain, Morrison's itself grew to a string of 142 outlets. In 1998, the first name and cafeteria started to disappear when competitor Piccadilly Cafeterias purchased the entirety of the since renamed Morrison restaurants for $46 million. Piccadilly filed for bankruptcy in 2012, however, and by 2018, the only Morrisons left was one in the company's hometown of Mobile. Having opened its first location in Kansas in early 1921, White Castle proclaims itself the first ever burger fast food chain.
I want 30 sliders, 5 French fries, and 4 large cherry Cokes.
I want the same, except make mine Diet Cokes.
The company's success inevitably inspired competitors and imitators. In 1926, John and Thomas Sachs opened the similar-looking restaurant White Tower in Milwaukee. Shaped like a castle and painted white to imply cleanliness, White Tower offered an alternative to downtown Milwaukee's bars and taverns with a simple menu of inexpensive hamburgers, ham sandwiches, pies, and donuts. And it was open 24 hours a day. After losing a trademark infringement suit brought by White Castle's operators, White Tower was ordered to remodel its buildings, pay a royalty to the older burger chain, and never open a restaurant in the same market as a White Castle. Nevertheless, at the beginning of the 1950s, White Tower's parent company operated 230 restaurants around the country. But those many White Tower outlets gradually began to disappear. As freeways appeared and population centers moved out of cities, where many of the company's restaurants had been built, business suffered. The parent company rebranded as Tom Brock Corporation and decided to focus on real estate instead of restaurants. By 2008, only a single independently owned White Tower remained in Toledo, Ohio. It was closed indefinitely after a fire in 2022. A Southern California staple in the mid-20th century, Pup & Taco offered a unique menu that served both fast food standards and regional cuisine before it became internationally popular. Pup & Taco sold hot dogs, kraut dogs, and chili dogs, as well as tacos, burritos, and refried beans. To compete with the bigger brands, Pup & Taco also added burgers to the menu. The first in the chain opened in Pasadena in 1965, and at its height, around 100 Pup & Taco shacks existed, almost entirely in the Southern California area. While Pup & Taco built up a regional fan base, another Southern California-based Mexican-style fast food restaurant aggressively developed into a national concern, Taco Bell. In 1984, Taco Bell's parent company Pepsi spent $50 million to acquire 99 Pup & Taco locations, and then promptly shut them down.